I clearly didn't die. Yet I spent 1,000 years in the underworld. King Yama calls me brother. Warden Black and Warden White call me big brother. Oxhead and Horseface fight over who gets to be my steed. All because I never complained, never shirked. Every day I swept the underworld clean. But today, I'm done. Because I finally checked in at every single spot in the underworld. Once I reincarnate successfully, I'll start out 10,000 years ahead of everyone else. So I go find King Yama. I hand in my resignation as an underworld official. King Yama closes the register of life and death. He looks up at the young man before him. Ethan, you've served the underworld for 1,000 years. 1,000 years of hidden merit built up without complaint. For this reincarnation, I'll place you in a family of cultivators. As long as you train with a steady heart, great fortune awaits you. Thank you, King Yama. I bow low respectfully. Inside, I'm grinning like a fool. Finally, Oxhead and Horseface lead me to the Bridge of Forgetting. Ethan, I heard you were coming today. So old Granny here added a little something special just for you. Simmered it 3 extra hours. Drink this bowl and go on your way with an easy heart. With that, a bowl of golden broth is pressed into my hands. Oh, come on, Granny Lethe. Not only do you brew me soup, you spike it too? Afraid I might actually remember you 3, huh? I take the soup of forgetting from her. I look at my 3 old friends, reluctant to let go. Friends, after this farewell, I'm off to a far wider world. With that farewell spoken, I tip my head back. A few big gulps and the broth is gone. My eyes glaze over. I look like I've lost my soul, but of course it's all an act. Earlier I checked in at the Bridge of Forgetting and earned a priceless treasure, the Evermind Elixir. With the Evermind Elixir in me, no soup of forgetting, however potent, can touch me. Which means, I'm completely unaffected. I get to carry every memory of my past life into my next one. A shimmering 7-colored channel lights up across the river. I dissolve into a streak of light and vanish into the passage of reincarnation. In the everlasting realm, in the ancient Ashwood clan. Inside a quiet, secluded pavilion, Elder Aeon strokes his wispy goatee and speaks slowly. I read the night sky. I count it on my fingers. The ancestral sovereign is about to reincarnate. Gareth Ashwood's eyes go wide as saucers. His whole body trembles with excitement. Is that really true? There is a legend in the Ashwood clan. It's said that back then that peerless genius, through sheer world-defying talent, fought her way to the very peak of sovereign realm. Then, for reasons unknown, this empress chose to walk the cycle of reincarnation. After 100 lifetimes, she would be reborn once more into the Ashwood clan. Gareth's mouth falls open. His eyes nearly bulge out of his skull. The ancestral sovereign reincarnating inside my wife's womb? The moment Gareth hears it, he wants nothing more than to rush straight to her chamber. Elder Aeon rises slowly to his feet. I'll come with you. On that usually kindly face, his deep-set eyes suddenly flash with twin beams of gold. These old bones of mine could use some stretching. And at this very moment, I am inside my mother's womb, marveling at how good it is to be alive. And with 1,000 years of treasures earned from checking in the underworld, I'm already 1,000 years ahead of everyone else at the starting line. Just how strong am I going to be? I never expected there'd be a baby girl right across from me, eyes closed, sound asleep. I actually have a little sister? Fine by me, more company down the road. Seeing her deep in sleep, I begin fusing with the primordial seraph-fiend body. Some unknown stretch of time passes. The baby girl in the womb opens her eyes. After 100 lifetimes, nothing will stop her now from stepping onto the sovereign's path. The eternal sovereign is the supreme ruler of all creation, the true master of the 3 realms. These 100,000 years of preparation have all been building toward that crown. This lifetime, she is fully confident she will become the eternal sovereign. Aurora Ashwood glances to the side. There, right beside her, is a baby boy. She never expected to have a little brother this time. Time slips by. A month or so passes. In the birthing chamber, 7 or 8 midwives bustle about. Then a voice calls out from inside. Congratulations, clan leader! It's a girl! Those waiting outside the door all breathe out in relief. Of everyone present, only the clan leader and the elder know this is the ancestral sovereign's reincarnation. Everyone else simply assumes this is just an ordinary birth. They don't think twice about it. Suddenly, a deafening boom rolls out from the darkened sky. Golden clouds of good fortune sweep across the heavens. A rift tears open across the sky, spanning the whole horizon, and from it, a stream of violet energy spills out. While that violet energy still hangs in midair, every member of the Ashwood clan feels an endless, crushing pressure. Some whose strength isn't up to it can barely even breathe. Then the baby girl bursts straight through the roof, hovering midair as she draws in the violet energy from the sky. Everyone can feel it. As the violet energy sinks into her, her life force grows stronger and stronger, far surpassing that of many seasoned cultivators. Everyone present stands frozen at the sight. Gareth tilts his head back stiff with shock. His eyes are filled with utter disbelief. I never imagined the ancestral sovereign's rebirth would draw down the primordial violet radiance itself. What kind of monstrous talent does it take to pull that off? Once the primordial violet radiance is fully absorbed, A loud baby's cry rings out from inside the chamber. A midwife shouts out into the courtyard, "Congratulations, clan leader! It's a boy!" Gareth throws his head back and roars with laughter. He's even happier than he was for the ancestral sovereign's birth. The ancestral sovereign's talent may defy heaven itself, but her status stands above his. He'll always have to answer to her. The baby boy is the one who can truly inherit the Ashwood clan's legacy. No matter what this son's talent turns out to be, he will be raised into the strongest being in all creation. Just as he's scheming this through, another deafening boom cracks the sky, louder than the last, shaking heaven and earth alike. Many clan members at the mere sound collapse to the ground in terror. The sky itself splits open into a rift stretching 100,000 miles. Deep within that rift, towering giants, thousands of feet tall, stride forth one after another. Some are celestial sovereigns wreathed in ethereal light, others demon gods seething with dark power. These celestials and fiends standing tall against the sky, a rough count puts them at over 10,000 strong. Sovereigns and demon gods, scattered across the heavens like stars, their terrifying pressure makes the very air groan. Across the everlasting realm, hermits who've been in seclusion for thousands of years, powerful cultivators. The moment celestials and fiends manifest, every one of them feels as though they can't breathe. Elder Aeon stares up at the sky, his deep-set eyes trembling. Celestials and fiends descending together. Could a war between celestial and fiend be about to break out? As everyone knows, celestial and fiend are as fire and water, and if the two appear together, it's bound to spell catastrophe. Or, Elder Aeon's head snaps toward the chamber. The ancestral sovereign's talent is so far beyond heaven's law, even celestials and fiends cannot tolerate it. He simply can't work out why celestials and fiends would descend at all. But tying it back to the ancestral sovereign's birth just now, it all starts to make a grim kind of sense. The ancestral sovereign's talent defies heaven's law. The three realms cannot allow it to exist. Celestials and fiends descend together, intent on striking her down. Just as he's thinking this through, another boom shakes the chamber. The roof tiles shatter completely. The baby boy bursts up through the roof, hovering in midair. The baby boy looks up at the thousands upon thousands of celestials and fiends in the sky and giggles. In that instant, heaven and earth tremble. Thousands upon thousands of celestials and fiends bow low, kneeling before the baby boy. The sight is staggering, awe-inspiring beyond words. For 100,000 miles in every direction, everyone bears witness to this astonishing scene. The Ashwood clan members watching this unfold are struck utterly speechless. What in the world is happening? Why would thousands of celestials and fiends kneel before this baby boy? These are true celestial and fiend projections. Could the baby boy's talent be so terrifying that even the celestials and fiends of all heavens know to submit? None of them can even imagine it. What kind of talent could summon celestials and fiends to bow at the moment of birth? These 10,000 celestials and fiends may be mere projections, but their aura is unmistakably that of true celestials and fiends, proud as only celestials and fiends can be. And yet, here they all are, kneeling before the baby boy. That alone is proof enough that this child's origin and talent are beyond extraordinary. Even Elder Aeon, who has lived over 8,000 years, feels his mind explode with a deafening roar. He's so stunned he nearly drops dead on the spot. With all his vast experience, he can only guess at the baby boy's true nature. This child must possess an unimaginably terrifying body to command the submission of celestials and fiends alike. Judging by this alone, compared to the baby girl from before, this is on an entirely different level. Just moments ago, he thought the omen surrounding the baby girl's birth was already enough to shake the three realms. But now, after the baby boy's birth, he finally understands what true soul-shaking awe looks like. Thousands upon thousands of celestials and fiends kneeling. He'd never even dreamed of seeing such a thing, let alone imagining it. Gareth is beside himself with sheer excitement. Ha ha ha! My son has the bearing of a true sovereign. This is wonderful, just wonderful. How could he not be stunned? Between his two children, one drew down the primordial violet radiance, the other summoned thousands of celestials and fiends to kneel. Both their talents defy the very laws of heaven. Elder, are you certain there's no mistake? Could it be that this baby boy is the real reincarnation of the ancestral sovereign? Judging by talent alone, the boy far surpasses her. If anything, calling him the ancestral sovereign would be far easier to believe. Elder Aeon pauses, momentarily thrown, before finally answering. There's no mistake. The baby girl is the true reincarnation of the ancestral sovereign. There's no mix-up on that front. It's written clearly in the clan records. The ancestral sovereign was a woman. 100,000 years ago, she ascended as Empress, the famed Empress Aurora. Speak that name, and many of the older generations still remember it well. And in the plaza in front of the ancestral shrine, there stands a magnificent statue, carved in the very likeness of Empress Aurora, 100,000 years ago. How could there possibly be a mistake? Gareth's mouth twitches. His head is starting to spin. To think, the ancestral sovereign spent 100,000 years preparing, only to be outshone by a newborn baby boy. If she ever found out, would it be enough to make her furious? Inside the chamber, a gaping hole now yawns in the roof. The scene outside is now plainly visible. Aurora lies swaddled in her blankets, staring up at the thousands of celestials and fiends filling the sky. Her eyes practically pop out of her head. Could this be the primordial seraphine body? Across 100,000 years she has studied countless ancient records. She knows that across the three realms there are 36,000 known cultivation bodies, and ranked first among them all is the primordial seraphine body. This body, whether one walks the path of celestial or the path of fiend, can reach the very pinnacle of either. It stands unmatched across all eternity. My little brother actually has the primordial seraphine body? At the thought, she lets out a bitter little laugh. She never imagined that after 100,000 years of preparation she'd end up losing anyway. Losing the moment she was born, no less. Losing this completely. I may have lost on raw body alone, but in the end, your achievements will never match mine. Aurora spent 100,000 years preparing for this lifetime. The primordial earth core and the sovereign earthbone are only the beginning. Further ahead, there are countless treasures and opportunities still waiting to be fused into her body. And most precious of all, 100,000 years of cultivation experience, something no newborn could ever hope to match. At that thought, Aurora feels considerably better. But right after that, I check in again, right there in the chamber, and earn a bottle of mystic essence. With no one else around, I hug the jade bottle and gulp it down in big mouthfuls. Before long, the whole bottle disappears into my stomach. Once I finish absorbing the mystic essence, I'm thoroughly satisfied. This body is far, far stronger than she imagines. A little mystic essence still remains in the bottle. I glance over at my little sister beside me, dip a finger in the bottle's mouth, and slip it between her lips. Her furrowed little brow smooths out. She seems to sleep even more soundly, thanks to the mystic essence. The chamber door swings open. A man and a woman step in, along with an elderly man with white eyebrows. The ancestral sovereign chose to reincarnate on the day of the Nine Suns' convergence deliberately. Naturally, she hopes to gain great fortune when the blessing takes place. We need to help the ancestral sovereign complete the blessing. He then produces a stone, 3 feet square. Mira Ashwood feels its spiritual energy at once, and her spirit sharpens with awe. Under all heaven, who would have thought there could be a mutton-fat spirit jade this large? The spirit jade is a gentle, mild-natured jade infused with spiritual energy. Worn against a baby's skin, it can quietly, gradually refine the infant's constitution, turning an ordinary mortal body into that of a chosen prodigy. A piece this large, this spirit jade means good fortune is coming my way. But the very next moment I see my little sister laid right on top of the spirit jade. My talent is stronger than hers. Why does she get to absorb it first? Does my father secretly think I'm not really his son? After setting down the spirit jade, the clan leader and the elder both leave. Only Mira remains in the room, tasked with looking after both children. Seeing my eyes closed, seemingly asleep, Mira lies down herself to rest. The moment I hear my mother's breathing settle into a steady rhythm, I open my eyes. They light up at the sight of the spirit jade. From checking in the underworld, I once earned another priceless treasure, the celestial dew, worth 100 times more than the spirit jade. The only trouble is the celestial dew's potency is fierce and overwhelming, far too much for a newborn to handle. My plan is to absorb some of the spirit jade first, build up my constitution, and only then move on to the celestial dew. If I take a bit of my sister's share for now, I can always pay it back later. I reach out my chubby little hand and shove hard against the edge of the spirit jade. A small chip breaks off at once. I pop that little piece into my mouth and swallow it straight down. Once the spirit jade reaches my stomach, it transforms into a torrent of raw energy spreading through my body. This energy is hundreds of times stronger than the mystic essence. In the blink of an eye, an hour slips by. A glow lights up inside my body, forming the outline of a human silhouette, golden on the left side, pitch black on the right. The seraphine body, half celestial, half fiend. Gold stands for celestial, black stands for fiend. This outline is still just a faint sketch. Once it fully solidifies into a complete figure, the seraphine body will have reached minor completion. This spirit jade tastes amazing. One more piece. And with that, my little hand presses hard against another corner of the spirit jade. Another small piece breaks off. On top of the spirit jade, Aurora lies in a perfect position, this being the very spirit jade she gathered lifetimes ago. Ever since she began preparing for her 100 lifetimes of reincarnation, Aurora has been collecting priceless treasures, sending them down to the mortal world through a celestial stone, and leaving an ancestral decree instructing her descendants to gather treasures on her behalf. All of it, waiting for this exact moment, 100,000 years later, when her 100 lifetimes would finally converge. 20 days remain until the day of the Nine Suns' convergence. Her primordial earth core must reach minor completion by then, in order to receive the solar blessing. The Nine Suns' convergence appears only once every 10,000 years. If she manages to obtain it, she can plant a solar ember deep within her body, nurture it well over time, and it could grow into a top-tier immortal flame. To wait for this exact chance, she has spent 3,000 years navigating her reincarnations. This little brat actually dares to steal this sovereign spirit jade. Aurora suddenly notices my hand reaching toward the corner of the spirit jade. I break off a small piece and pop it straight into my mouth. She looks again at that corner and finds a fist-sized hole gouged right out of it. It's plain as day. All of it has been eaten. The sight nearly makes the Empress explode with rage. Even in the ancient desolate heaven realm, finding a piece of spirit jade this size is no easy feat. She had planned to rely on this very piece to reach minor completion of her primordial earth core within 20 days, and afterward, absorbing it slowly, eventually push it all the way to great completion. But now, for every bit her little brother absorbs, she loses exactly that much. This is outright theft, in broad daylight. As an empress, how could she possibly stand by and watch her treasure get snatched away by this little rascal? What's going on? Why is my little sister acting so upset? A newborn infant, her body still in early development. Even with a powerful physical body, she shouldn't be able to do anything like this. Aurora glares fiercely at the baby boy. Her eyes say it plainly. You little brat. This spirit jade is all mine. Don't even think about stealing it. She then reaches out her own small hand, finds a spot on the spirit jade's edge, breaks off a peanut-sized piece, and pops it into her mouth. Watching this, I can't help but grin inside. So my little sister is pretty smart after all, copying the way I eat the spirit jade. Alright then, let's see which of us can eat faster. And so, one baby boy and one baby girl launch into an all-out eating contest. One piece for you, one piece for me. Both of us thoroughly enjoying ourselves. Mira wakes from her nap and stretches. The moment she sees both children eating the spirit jade, she's so frightened she nearly jumps out of her skin. They're eating the spirit jade. Oh heavens, the spirit jade's energy may be gentle, but swallowing it directly like this could still cause its energy to erupt inside their bodies. The slightest misstep could throw their meridians into chaos or even tear their bodies apart entirely. But looking at both children now, eating the spirit jade hasn't harmed them at all. If anything, they're growing stronger by the minute. These bodies are truly beyond anything she could have imagined. Mira finally realizes just how limited her own understanding has been. She has vastly underestimated just how powerful these bodies really are. She breaks off a piece of the spirit jade herself, dividing it into peanut-sized pieces and sets them down beside me. Eat up, my boy. I flash a wide grin. Nothing beats a mother's love. That old saying is dead on. That so-called father of mine, meanwhile, is clearly on my sister's side, playing favorites through and through. Aurora nearly loses her mind with fury. This sovereign spirit jade, you're supposed to be on my side, and instead you sneak it over to that little brat? The two of you are clearly in this together. Of course, all of this is only screamed inside her head. No one on the outside can hear a word of it. As a newborn infant, all she can do is watch her own treasure get chipped away, piece by this little rascal. 2 days quickly slip by. What was once a neat square block of spirit jade has now had a huge chunk devoured. More than half was eaten by me, and only a small portion by Aurora. As for Mira, watching over them in the room, in her heart, she leans more toward the baby boy, so she doesn't stop either of them. To her way of thinking, whichever child eats it, the spirit jade only makes their bodies stronger, clearly a good thing. As long as no harm comes of it, even eating the whole thing isn't a problem. Suddenly I float up to the middle of the room, 2 colors of light radiating from my body, gold on the left, black on the right. What was once just a faint dotted outline has now solidified into a complete human silhouette. Mira stares at my body, a jolt of pure shock rushing through her. She can barely even catch her breath. This is minor completion of a divine body. It's only been this long and his body has already reached this stage? The speed is unbelievable. It's all thanks to the spirit jade. Otherwise, there's no way I could have achieved something like this in such a short span of time. Aurora feels the aura radiating from him, and looks up sharply at the baby boy. She nearly goes mad with fury. You actually stole this much of this sovereign spirit jade. This sovereign is going to fight you for it. This spirit jade, it was supposed to be the sovereign's key move to push her primordial earth core to great completion. And now this brat has eaten so much of it, what's left probably won't be enough. The once mighty empress faints outright from sheer rage. I notice something's wrong with my sister too. Why has my little sister passed out? Must be my sheer presence. Probably just startled her. She's just a newborn after all. She doesn't know anything yet. Getting startled like this is only natural. My body settles back down onto the bed. I turn my gaze toward the spirit jade. It started out as a neat, square block like a big solid chunk of stone. Now it looks like something rats have been gnawing on. A small missing corner. That's Aurora's doing. A huge gouge in the middle. That one's mine. My body is clearly stronger than my sister's, so I absorb everything much faster. I roll over and crawl to the edge of the bed, reach out, and break off another big chunk of the spirit jade. Earlier, when I was absorbing it, my sister's pieces were peanut-sized each time. Mine were quail egg-sized, 4 or 5 times bigger than hers. This piece I just broke off is chicken egg-sized, 4 or 5 times bigger than the quail egg pieces. Now that my body has reached minor completion, every aspect of my physique has grown 100-fold stronger, and my absorption speed has improved dramatically too. Taking in this much at once is no problem at all. I break this big chunk of spirit jade into several smaller pieces. I swallow all of it down at once. Once I finish absorbing one piece, I break off another egg-sized piece and swallow that one too. Piece after piece, I keep right on absorbing. Once I've finished eating, I don't forget to break off a small piece and slip it into my sister's mouth. Don't be shy, little sister. Let's eat together. The more you absorb, the better the blessing will be. You're asleep, so I'll just feed you myself. Don't say I never treat you well. From day into night, and on through until dawn, I keep eating my share while feeding my sister hers as well, thoroughly enjoying every moment of it. A ray of morning sunlight slips in through the window, falling across the baby girl's face. Aurora raises a tiny hand to shield her eyes fluttering open. Why am I on a soft bed? Wasn't I lying on top of the spirit jade? How did I end up down here? The scene before her slowly comes into focus. The first thing she sees is the baby boy's profile. He seems to be holding something, stuffing it into his mouth. Her vision sharpens a bit more. Now she sees it clearly. That's my spirit jade in his hand, and such a huge piece too. Her gaze shifts past the baby boy. I remember the spirit jade was right over there. Where is it gone? Did someone move it away? Or is it sitting somewhere else? Her eyes sweep around the room, but there's no sign of the spirit jade anywhere. The baby boy makes a new move, drawing her attention back to him. She watches him crawl toward the edge of the bed, lean over, and reach a hand underneath it, as if fishing around for something. The baby boy's hand comes back up. What was once an empty palm now holds a huge chunk of spirit jade. That's the spirit jade! The chunk in the baby boy's hand is the size of half a bun. He stuffs it into his mouth and swallows it down in just a few bites. Aurora is frozen completely stiff. The amount she absorbed over 2 whole days was about that same size, and now the baby boy just swallowed 2 days' worth in a single bite. This treasure took her tremendous effort to obtain, meant to nurture her primordial earth core, and now of all things it's ended up benefiting this little brat instead. She hastily crawls toward the edge of the bed, peers over the side and looks down. Better not to have looked at all, because once she does, she's completely dumbstruck. The spirit jade, once a 3-foot square block, has now been eaten down to almost nothing. Only a small piece, about half a foot long, remains. Everything else has been devoured by that little brat. My spirit jade! Give me back my spirit jade! The once mighty Empress's blood boils with rage, surging straight to her head. Barely awake for a moment, she faints once more. I glance at my sister, a little puzzled. Why is she just woken up only to pass out again? I give my little hand a flick, pulling a jade bottle out of my storage ring. The celestial dew, a divine dew born from the very essence of heaven and earth. It has an extraordinarily powerful nourishing effect on infants. Far more potent than the spirit jade, which is why it's unsuitable as a starting tonic for a newborn's body. I've already eaten a fair amount of the spirit jade, strengthening my body considerably, so now I'm ready to absorb the celestial dew. The reason I've been stealing my sister's spirit jade these past few days was exactly to prepare myself for this. Taking the celestial dew. I pop open the bottle's cap, dip a finger inside, coating it in a bit of the liquid, and slip it between my sister's lips. Little sister, this celestial dew is no cheap treasure, easily worth every bit of the spirit jade I used up. After she takes in the celestial dew, a smile spreads across Aurora's sleeping face, as if she's caught in the middle of a wonderful dream. I swallow the celestial dew myself, lying back on the soft bed, as I absorb the raging energy now surging through my body. With the foundation the spirit jade has already given me, taking in the celestial dew comes far more easily than it otherwise would. After a long while, from this tiny little body, beam after beam of dazzling light bursts forth, its terrifying aura surging straight up into the 9th heaven. High above, in the 9th heaven, a towering colossus forms, thousands of feet tall. Its head brushes the heavens, its feet plant firmly against the abyss, standing like a single pillar joining heaven and earth, unmoving, unshakable. 2 colors mark the colossus's body, gold on the left, wreathed in an ethereal, celestial light, black on the right, seething with a demonic aura as vast and dark as an endless abyss. The colossus is so immense that everyone within 10,000 miles can see it. Countless common folk drop to their knees, bowing their heads to the ground before the colossus. Even many cultivators, the instant they feel the colossus's aura, crumple to the ground in sheer terror. Deep within the 100,000 mountains stands the Fate Watch Pavilion. The Fate Watch seer sits atop a high tower, gazing off toward the colossus in the distance. The Ashwood clan has given rise to 2 stars of destiny. This world is bound for utter upheaval. Master, you say the Ashwood clan bears a star of destiny, and there are 2 of them? At the mention of a star of destiny, the young apprentice's eyes go wide, shock plain in her eyes. The appearance of a star of destiny marks the birth of one blessed with tremendous fortune. And here, not 1, but 2 at once. It's proof enough that the Ashwood clan's fortune is about to defy heaven itself. The Fate Watch seer nods slowly. 2 stars of destiny, echoing one another across the sky. The Ashwood clan's rise is likely unstoppable now. Inside a forbidden pavilion of the ancient Corvain clan, an elder in long seclusion slowly opens his eyes. If outsiders ever learned that this elder of the Corvain clan was still alive, they'd be left utterly speechless. The elder senses the colossus's aura, his pupils suddenly contracting. Could this be the legendary primordial seraphine body? Why would it appear here in the everlasting realm? He himself had only ever seen it mentioned in an ancient text, the primordial seraphine body, described in nothing more than a handful of scattered fragments. Had it not been for one unmistakable trait of this divine body, celestial and fiend, coexisting as one, he likely wouldn't have recognized it at all. A projection thousands of feet tall, could this primordial seraphine body have already reached great completion? At the very thought of it, the elder sucks in a sharp, cold breath. "Where is the clan leader?" A sharp voice rings out from the forbidden chamber. "Greetings, Elder Skyreach. Do you know the origin of that colossal projection?" Elder Skyreach asks. For all these years he has remained in seclusion, and today it was only the terrifying aura of that colossal projection that jolted him out of his cultivation trance at all. Julian Corvain bows his head and answers. "If my guess is right, that projection comes from the Ashwood clan. I've only been in seclusion for a century, and already the Ashwood clan has produced a power like this. A divine body at great completion. Nothing may be able to stop it now." At the words great completion, Julian's head snaps up, his eyes bulge nearly out of their sockets. "What? You're saying this divine body has already reached great completion? That can't be right. He may have witnessed the colossal projection himself, but he has no idea what caused it to appear. It can only be true." Though Elder Skyreach is reluctant to admit it, it doesn't change the fact one bit. Julian's expression twists through a whole range of emotion, as though he's just witnessed something utterly beyond belief. Not long ago, 2 children were born into the Ashwood clan. The baby boy drew thousands of celestials and fiends into kneeling before him. In just 15 days, his divine body had already reached great completion. That kind of talent is simply terrifying. A divine body is the most powerful constitution known to heaven and earth. Every single divine body carries a terrifyingly formidable talent for cultivation. A divine body passes through 2 stages, minor completion and great completion. With every stage cleared, one's talent multiplies by tens, even hundreds of times over. And for some truly extraordinary divine bodies, breaking through to great completion can multiply their strength 1,000-fold, even 10,000-fold. The primordial seraphine body was already terrifying enough on its own. Now, having reached great completion, just how terrifying could it possibly be? It's almost too much to imagine. What? 15 days? Elder Skyreach's face fills with stunned disbelief, his whole body trembling as he speaks. He had assumed that reaching great completion for a divine body of this caliber would take someone decades, even centuries, of cultivation. He never dreamed, not in 1,000 years, that it could be a child barely 10 days out of the womb. "Elder, should we look for a chance to eliminate that baby boy?" The Corvain clan and the Ashwood clan are both ancient bloodlines, with no shortage of friction between them over the years. On the surface, things have always looked civil enough. But now, with the Ashwood clan producing a divine son of such heaven-defying talent, if he's allowed to grow unchecked, he could well become the Corvain clan's greatest future threat. Absolutely not. Elder Skyreach waves a hand at once, urgent. For this child to accomplish something like this, fully forming the primordial seraphine body in such a short span of time, he must carry tremendous fortune upon him. The Corvain clan should seek his friendship, not make an enemy of him. Julian himself never imagined that the elder would think this highly of a newborn child. Since the elder has decided on friendship, then it's time to draw the 2 clans closer and become allies going forward. At the main gate of the Ashwood clan, Gareth, back after several days away, has finally returned. His mood had been quite good, but the moment he sees that colossal figure hanging in the sky, his face contorts with sheer shock. His body streaks into a blur of light, racing straight toward his own courtyard. Elder Aeon is already there in the courtyard too, head tilted back, gazing up at the colossus in the sky. "Elder, what in the world is happening?" "If I'm not mistaken, the primordial seraphine body has reached great completion." Gareth swallows hard, throat tight. "The divine body has reached great completion? It's only been a few days. How could it happen this fast?" He never imagined, not for a second, that a single trip to the Forbidden Grounds, less than 5 days, would end with his son's divine body already at great completion by the time he got back. The pace is simply staggering. Elder Aeon looks toward the chamber and says, "Let's go to your wife's room. We might find our answers there." Gareth strides forward and pushes the door open. The first thing he sees is me, sitting up on the bed. A second glance, and he spots Aurora lying on the bed as well. Only then does he notice, with a jolt of shock, that the once neat square block of mutton fat spirit jade has been whittled down to a small piece, barely half a foot long, roughly a tenth of what it used to be. This single sight finally makes clear to Gareth exactly what has happened. His mind nearly explodes on the spot. His son's divine body reaching great completion. Of course, that's thrilling news. Even if he'd eaten the whole thing, that would have been fine. But that spirit jade belonged to the ancestral sovereign. Letting his son eat that much of it, his stomach twists with dread. What he fears most is the ancestral sovereign holding this against them later, leaving him to bear the full brunt of the consequences. The ancestral sovereign, across 100 lifetimes of reincarnation, cultivating for 100,000 years, with power that reaches the very heavens. How could a newborn baby boy possibly stand against her? Though the baby boy's divine body has now reached great completion, and his strength will likely grow faster than his sister's going forward, he could never hope to rival the ancestral sovereign in the future. Elder Aeon, too, is caught off guard, slapping a hand against his forehead. These past few days, he's had a nagging sense of unease. But with Gareth away, and Mira alone caring for both children, tending to nursing and everything else, it hadn't felt right for him to visit her chamber alone. No one could have guessed that in just a few short days, something this significant would happen. Truthfully, the baby boy's divine body reaching great completion delights him as an elder, no question. But how are they supposed to explain any of this to the ancestral sovereign? Gareth crosses to the bedside in a few quick strides, gripping Mira's shoulders with both hands. Mira, the children have been eating the mutton-fat spirit jade. Why didn't you stop them? Eating it like this is far too dangerous. It could easily have torn their bodies apart. I saw that Ethan was fine after eating it, so I just let it be. Mira breaks into a cold sweat. Only now, thinking through what could have gone wrong, does the panic really set in. Thank goodness nothing happened. Otherwise, how would they even begin to explain it? Gareth lets out a sigh. You really weren't careful enough. That spirit jade was meant for both children. If you let Ethan eat almost all of it, what's left for Aurora to absorb? Aurora ate some of the spirit jade too, just at a far slower pace than Ethan. So most of it ended up going to Ethan instead. To Mira, this hardly seems like an issue at all. As their mother, she's clearly fonder of me. Honestly, Gareth sighs again and steps out of the room with the elder. Elder, what do we do now? Only a sliver of the spirit jade is left for my son, for the ancestral sovereign to absorb. It's certainly good news in one sense, but how do we explain this to the ancestral sovereign? Elder Aeon sighs, his white brows knitting together. In the treasure vault deep in the Forbidden Grounds, there are still a few treasures suited to nurturing infants. None as effective as the spirit jade, mind you, but we'll have to make do with them for now. Let's hope the ancestral sovereign doesn't. It really is an awkward situation when you think about it. The mighty ancestral sovereign herself, the strongest being across 100 lifetimes of reincarnation, unable to outcompete a baby boy, as infants no less. If word of this ever got out, those who once knew the ancestral sovereign would laugh themselves silly. There's nothing else to be done. Gareth glances through the open door, eyes falling on that small, remaining piece of spirit jade on the floor. There's still about 1/10 of the spirit jade left. That should be enough to bring the ancestral sovereign's divine body to minor completion. There's still half a month until the month blessing ceremony. It should be enough time. The Nine Suns Convergence blessing was, after all, chosen by the ancestral sovereign herself. Of course it mustn't be missed. They both trust that, in preparing for the Nine Suns Convergence, the ancestral sovereign surely has other preparations of her own in place. This time she will certainly receive the solar blessing and claim the solar ember. After talking things through, the two of them return to the room. The room is spacious, with 3 beds laid out inside. Both children had been sleeping in the middle bed, while Mira kept watch from the bed by the window. Gareth lifts the baby girl into his arms, setting her down in the innermost bed, up against the wall. He picks up the piece of spirit jade from the floor and sets it in the corner of the room. From now on, the 2 children sleep separately. What's left of this spirit jade all belongs to Aurora. We can't let Ethan take any more of it. Ethan's divine body has already reached great completion anyway. He has no more use for it. The children have only just been born. Even with such strong divine bodies, they still need to grow up like everyone else, developing bit by bit, step by step. It's just that with a divine body, they'll develop faster than ordinary children and find it easier to walk the path of cultivation. Mira, you really can't keep favoring Ethan. Aurora's our daughter too. She needs to absorb the spirit jade as well. Mira nods. All right, don't worry. I'll take good care of both of them. Gareth crouches beside the bed looking at the baby boy, all smiles, and speaks gently. Ethan, no more stealing your sister's things from now on. You be good, understand? Okay. The word slips out of me without thinking. The moment that single word leaves my mouth, every hair on Gareth's body stands on end. He rubs at his ear, wondering if he'd misheard. A normal baby wouldn't be able to speak until around a year old, at the earliest. And even then, the words would be simple, things like dada or mama, but I'm barely 10 days old and I'm already talking. He turns his stiffened neck to look at Mira, who's just as frozen with shock beside him. Did I mishear Ethan just now, saying okay? No, I heard it too. Hearing her son actually speak, Mira's own heart jolts with shock. As infants gradually take in the world around them, they slowly begin to grasp right from wrong, learning what to say and how to respond. For him to already understand what they're saying, that would make him a true prodigy. My heart skips a beat. Cold sweat breaks out across my back. I nearly gave myself away. The Underworld check-in system is my secret. Carrying the memories of my past life is another. Neither can ever be discovered by anyone outside, or it'll bring nothing but trouble. I'm still so small right now, with no strength of my own to protect myself. Caution is the only sensible path forward. He really couldn't talk at first. It's just that after his divine body reached great completion, his development sped up dramatically. That's why he can already talk. Gareth's eyes go wide and he tries a few more questions, testing. Ethan, can you understand me? Say papa. Or, do you want some milk? After several tries, the baby boy shows no reaction at all. Just a blank, happy little smile. It was probably just a fluke, Ethan saying that one word by accident. He still can't really talk. There's no point trying anymore. That night, a full moon rises into the sky. Inside the chamber, a fist-sized luminous pearl glows softly, lighting up the whole room. Mira breathes slow, and even in the night breeze, her steady breathing filling the quiet. Clearly, she's fast asleep. Aurora wakes up. She'd just been having a wonderful dream, dreaming that she'd drunk a divine dew. And now that her eyes are open, her body really does feel much, much stronger. Even stronger than what the spirit jade gave her. What is going on here? Could that little brat have fed me something good while I was asleep? No, that can't be right. Now that she's awake, she finds herself alone in her own bed. That infuriating little brat is a good 10 feet away. Her heart finally settles a bit at that. You little brat, there's no way you can steal my spirit jade this time. From now on, I'll absorb everything right here in my own bed. Let's see you try to take it now. For an infant to learn to walk, it usually takes at least a year, maybe more. Right now her body still isn't fully developed. These two separate beds are like an impassable moat, keeping the two of them completely apart. She won't have to worry about anything being stolen now. Aurora breaks off a small piece of the spirit jade, shaking it toward the baby boy with a triumphant little smirk, then pops it into her own mouth, savoring every moment as she swallows it down. She decides that from now on, she really needs to teach this little brat a proper lesson. I turn my head, notice that mother is already asleep, and start crawling toward the edge of the bed. Just as I'm about to tumble right off the edge, Aurora doesn't feel the slightest bit worried, until a soft thud sounds out. Aurora freezes solid on the spot. She watches the baby boy sit up on his own bed, hop lightly down onto the floor, and walk toward her with a bright, beaming grin. She'd swear on anything. That's the most terrifying smile she has ever seen in her life, as dreadful as something straight out of a nightmare. What? How is he already up and moving around like that? Aurora's mind buzzes with static, as if 10,000 flies were swarming inside her skull, her thoughts on the verge of exploding. He carries the primordial earth core and the sovereign earthbone, two earth-tier treasures fused into his very body, and this is exactly the terrifying power of the primordial seraphined body. Aurora realizes she has lost. Lost, and lost completely. She almost wonders if these 100 lifetimes of reincarnation were a mistake from the start. I grip the edge of the bed and clamber my way up onto it, and it's only today that I discover I can actually stand and walk on my own. I can even manage a simple little hop. All of it thanks entirely to the primordial seraphine body reaching great completion. Great completion has sped up my body's growth dramatically, far outpacing any ordinary infant. So my father actually thought splitting my sister and me apart would be enough to hold me back? I walk over to the corner of the room, break off another small piece of spirit jade, and pop it into my mouth. Once the spirit jade enters my body, it transforms into a vast wave of energy spreading through me. Now that my divine body has reached great completion, I notice something different this time. Before, when I absorbed the spirit jade, its energy would surge into my meridians like a tidal wave. This time, as the energy enters my body, it's remarkably gentle. Like a raging tsunami has become a quiet, trickling stream, with no impact whatsoever on my meridians. It's not that the spirit jade has become gentler. It's that my body has grown too powerful, able to subdue and tame every surge of that raging energy. My meridians have become like a vast, mighty canal now, capable of handling even the most violent currents with ease. Now that my divine body has reached great completion, the spirit jade's effect on me has become almost negligible. Even absorbing more of it barely does anything now. The spirit jade seems to be of little use to me anymore. Since that's the case, I might as well leave the rest for my sister. I break off another big chunk of spirit jade, open my mouth wide, pretending like I'm about to devour it, and shoot my sister a smug little wink. The moment Aurora sees this, a wave of raw hurt wells up inside her. Tears well up quickly, glistening at the corners of her eyes. This sovereign went through untold hardship to find that spirit jade. And you little brat, ate the whole thing. Do you have any idea how hard 100 lifetimes of reincarnation actually is? The more she thinks about it, the more wronged she feels, until the tears finally spill over and won't stop. Wow, the mighty Empress herself, a woman who has lived 100,000 years, actually reduced to tears because of me. I never expected my sister would be this sensitive to a little teasing, crying over practically nothing. Never mind, this isn't fun anymore. I'm done playing around. I break the spirit jade down into smaller pieces and press them into Aurora's hands, then gently pinch her little cheek. The moment Aurora has the spirit jade back in her hands, her crying stops almost instantly. So this little brat does know how to feel bad. After all, even if you give this sovereign the spirit jade back, this sovereign still won't forgive you. Seeing my sister has stopped crying, I slip quietly back to my own bed. As for what kind of blessing I might receive, there's a real excitement building inside me. Half a month later, the night sky glitters with countless stars. In the plaza behind the Ashwood clan's main hall, more than 10,000 clan members have gathered. For every one of them, today is an enormously important day, The month blessing ceremony. The divine son and divine daughter will receive the blessing together, and it coincides with the once in 10,000 years 9 suns convergence. Which of the two, the divine son or the divine daughter, will receive the greater blessing? Has to be the divine son, right? His divine body has already reached great completion after all. The divine daughter is strong too, though. I heard her divine body reached minor completion as well. According to legend, if one manages to receive the solar blessing, a solar ember will take root deep within their body, and if it's successfully nurtured, it can grow into an immortal flame in its own right. To withstand the solar blessing at all requires an extraordinarily powerful constitution, and no one dares guarantee that either infant will succeed. I wonder if the divine son and divine daughter can even endure it. Both their bodies are strong, sure, but they're still infants, barely a month old. It'll be a real challenge. To withstand power as terrifying as the solar convergence. In the east, the light of dawn slowly rises, and then to everyone's astonishment, out at the very edge of the horizon, 9 fiery red orbs of light appear. It looks, for all the world, as though 9 suns are about to rise at once. The blazing crimson light quickly stains the entire horizon, turning half the sky a deep, burning red. Many ordinary people, seeing the sight, stand frozen, jaws hanging open in shock. Some farmers, terrified, drop straight to their knees, pressing their foreheads to the ground toward the horizon. Heavens above, 9 suns have appeared. The whole world's about to be struck by drought again. We're finished. We're all going to starve. In ancient times, there were tales told again and again of 9 suns once rising together in the sky, with the earth scorched under 9 suns at once. Catastrophic drought was said to be inevitable. Another legend claims that when the 9 suns once appeared, a god named Huyi shot down 8 of them, restoring peace to the world. Across the everlasting realm, many cultivation sects and ancient clans witness this strange sign of 9 rising suns, but unlike the common folk, they aren't struck with terror. They know this is simply an extraordinarily rare celestial event. What's risen in the sky isn't 9 true suns at all, but 9 stars, near suns in their own right, passing unusually close to the everlasting realm. A rare astronomical phenomenon that occurs only once every 10,000 years. In the plaza of the Ashwood clan stands a ceremonial platform, 10 stories tall. On the platform, 1 infant stands to the left, another to the right. These are the divine son and the divine daughter. On the small pedestal to the right, reflected deep in Aurora's eyes, is the astonishing sight of 9 suns rising into the sky. Her tiny hand clenches unbidden. For this extraordinarily rare blessing, the 9 suns convergence, she has waited a full 3,000 years. This time, she must obtain the solar blessing. Earning the solar blessing is no easy feat. It requires not only a body at minor completion, but also a technique capable of drawing down the sun's power. One serves as the method, the other as the foundation. Neither can be missing. Foundation alone, without a way to summon the sun's power, means watching helplessly as the blessing slips away, with no way to stop it. Aurora turns her head, glancing toward the baby boy on her left. "You little brat, let's see you compete with this sovereign this time. His divine body may be strong, but without a technique to summon the sun's power, all that strength counts for nothing." So she is convinced he'll walk away with nothing more than the most ordinary blessing. With the solar blessing secured, her strength will surge dramatically, leaving the baby boy far behind, with no hope of ever catching up. Out at the far edge of the sky, 9 suns rise together over the horizon. Their blazing light bathes the earth below. Even at this early hour of dawn, the temperature soars to punishing heights. Crops across the fields wilt and droop, drained of every last drop of moisture. The hidden crimson dragon activates. From the baby girl's body, a fire dragon rises, swelling into a colossal serpent hundreds of feet long. It streaks toward the horizon at blistering speed. The dragon's aura is utterly terrifying, its crushing presence blanketing the sky. Within 1,000 miles in every direction, every beast bows in submission. To seize the sun's power for herself, Aurora had specifically mastered the hidden crimson dragon technique. With her primordial earth core at minor completion, the energy within her body is just enough to unleash the technique, though only barely, at less than 1/10,000th of its true power. The moment the Ashwood clan sees the fire dragon, their jaws drop instantly. What? The divine daughter is protected by a fire dragon? Could dragon blood actually run through her veins? That dragon is going after the sun's power. None of them understand that Aurora is simply channeling a technique. After all, she's still just a month-old infant. They can only guess it's some kind of dragon guardian phenomenon. That seeing the 9 suns convergence appear prompted the dragon to reach for the sun's power on its own. Such an occurrence is exceedingly rare, though not entirely unheard of either. I stare at that fire dragon, my eyes narrowing slightly. I didn't expect my sister to be this strong. She's even got a fire dragon guarding her, helping her seize the sun's power. Looks like I need to do something myself. I lower my head deep in thought, working out how to turn this from a losing position into a winning one. 1,000 years of checking in the underworld earned me plenty of powerful techniques, but right now, I'm only a month old, and haven't formally begun cultivating. Most of those techniques are simply out of reach. My consciousness slips into the system space. This is its own private world. A stretch of level ground covered in every kind of rare heavenly treasure and miraculous elixir imaginable. In one section of this space, jade tablets hover in midair, some radiating a genuinely terrifying aura, clearly holding something far from ordinary. A black stone, wreathed in billowing dark smoke, catches my attention. This is the technique I earned checking in on the 16th floor of Hell, the Fiend Horde Devouring Art. The Fiend Horde Devouring Art uses blood as its catalyst, drawing on the power of countless fiends to devour heaven and earth. This technique doesn't need demonic energy to activate it, it runs on blood instead. The stronger the demonic energy within that blood, the more powerful the technique becomes. You could say this is, right now, the perfect technique for me. This is the one. Inside the system space, the projection I manifest looks to be in its early 20s, the same form I wore in my past life. The projection grips the black stone, crushing it in its fist. With a sharp crack, the stone shatters. A beam of black light seeps into my forehead. New memories flood into my mind at once, containing everything about the Fiend Horde Devouring Art. There's a real advantage to techniques earned through the system's check-in. Just crush the item, and it's instantly learned. No tedious process of study or comprehension required. And now, I already know exactly how to unleash the Fiend Horde Devouring Art. Back in the real world, the fire dragon races toward the horizon, bearing down on the 9 suns above. Its terrifying roar rolls across 1,000 miles, striking fear into every living creature on the ground below. A tremendous terrifying pull erupts from the dragon's open jaws. All 9 suns have now fully risen. The one in the center is the largest, blazing brighter than all the rest. This is the one known as the solar sun. 4 suns to the left, 4 to the right, each somewhat smaller and dimmer than the one at the center. The moment the dragon's fierce pull takes hold, the solar sun at the center blazes with an even more dazzling light. The entire earth is stained a deep, burning red. Between the 4 suns on the left, a crimson beam of light appears, binding them together. Each of the 4 releases its own flame power, which merges into the solar sun at the center. The 4 suns on the right do the same, linking together, channeling all their flame power into the sun at the center. Now, the combined flame power of all 9 suns has converged as one. The solar sun at the center erupts with an even more radiant blaze of light. Terrifying heat surges outward like a tidal wave, rolling in from the horizon toward the inland reaches. Everything the heat touches is scorched to cinders. A beam of light shoots down from the solar sun, streaking directly toward the Ashwood clan. With a flash, Aurora rises off the platform, hovering in midair. The beam of light strikes her body, swallowing her completely in blazing fire. The gathered members of the Ashwood clan break into expressions of stunned delight. The solar blessing. The divine daughter really did summon the sun's power. That dragon is unbelievable, to unleash a pull that terrifying. Now that the divine daughter has received the solar blessing, her future achievements are bound to surpass the divine sun's. There are several key factors behind growing stronger. Talent is only one part of the equation. Fortune and opportunity are what really tip the scales. Some are born with extraordinary talent but suffer from terrible luck down the road. Others start with weaker talent but stumble into fortune after fortune later on. Comparing the two, it's the latter who ends up stronger without question. The solar blessing is an enormous boost for the divine daughter, enough to make up for any disadvantage in raw talent, and close the gap with the divine sun entirely. Gareth feels the terrifying presence of the fire dragon, his whole body trembling. As expected of the ancestral sovereign, a feat this terrifying, surely only a true celestial could pull off. The Ashwood clan has its own share of aura-concealing techniques, but stacked against this fire dragon, the gap is nowhere close. The ancestral sovereign, after all, is a powerhouse straight from the desolate heaven realm. Even her most casual technique could crush anything they have. In the everlasting realm, Elder Aeon strokes his goatee, his white brows lifting in astonishment. The ancestral sovereign must have been preparing for this solar blessing long before today. That fire dragon truly is a masterstroke. Even a technique she throws out on a whim puts my own after 8,000 years of life to absolute shame. Gareth glances toward the baby boy, who shows no reaction at all, and says, with a touch of regret, Ethan's only just turned a month old. How could he possibly know any technique for summoning that kind of power? There's no way he can earn the solar blessing now. What a shame. To finally catch this once in 10,000 years 9 suns convergence, only to let it slip by, it really is a pity. But there's nothing they can really do to help me. I'll have to manage this entirely on my own. Elder Aeon nods and says, even without the solar blessing, that primordial seraphine body is already terrifying enough on its own. Nurture him well over the years and he's bound to become the ancestral sovereign's right hand. When that day comes, she certainly won't let his efforts go unrewarded. He knows the ancestral sovereign endured 100 lifetimes of reincarnation, all in pursuit of becoming the strongest being in all creation. But the path of cultivation is, at its core, a struggle against heaven itself. Never an easy road. Having an extra ally by her side can only help. Gareth speaks up, a note of quiet feeling in his voice. For Ethan to be the ancestral sovereign's own little brother, That's a stroke of fortune all its own. After 100,000 years of preparation, what treasure could she possibly lack? As long as Ethan proves himself, the ancestral sovereign certainly won't be stingy. Whatever slips through her fingers alone would be more than enough to set him up for life. Up on the platform, the moment I opened my eyes, I met with blinding light. I quickly raise a small hand to shield myself from it. My sister has already summoned the sun's power. I need to act, and fast. This rare celestial event won't last long. If I miss it, I'll never get another chance in this lifetime. A drop of pitch-black blood, glinting with an eerie dark light, seeps from my fingertip. A single drop of essence blood, saturated with overwhelming demonic energy, astoundingly precious. Were my divine body not at great completion, I'd never dare burn through essence blood like this. The fiend horde devouring art. That single black bead of blood on my fingertip shoots straight up into the sky. With a hiss, the blood dissolves into a churning black mist. A deep rumble booms out. A rift, thousands of feet long, tears open across the sky, as though some terrifying demon god had ripped it apart with its bare hands. Overwhelming demonic energy pours out from the other side of the rift. Demon gods, each towering thousands of feet tall, emerge from the tear one after another. Once counted, it becomes clear. There are exactly 10,000 of them. Their terrifying demonic aura rises up, forming a dense, dark cloud, dimming even the light of the 9 suns. The crowd stares up at the demon gods overhead, descending into panic. No one has any idea what's happening. What in the world is going on? Are they after the sun's power too? This is terrifying. I feel like a single sneeze from one of them could kill me. Many members of the Ashwood clan bolt for the exits in terror, not daring to stay a moment longer. Aurora, still absorbing the sun's power, remains wrapped in that intense solar fire, completely untouched by the demonic energy around her. Just as everyone assumes the demon gods are about to attack the everlasting realm, something entirely unexpected happens. The 10,000 demon gods make no move to attack at all. Instead, they all settle into a seated, cross-legged position, hovering there, high above the 9th heaven. The sight of 10,000 demon gods sitting in unison is staggering. Packed together, an unbroken sea of them, blotting out the sky itself. With a deep boom, one demon god unleashes a terrifying pull, drawing on the sun's power from the horizon. Another boom follows, as a second demon god releases its own pull. Boom after boom, all 10,000 demon gods join in one by one, tearing at the very fabric of the sky, until it feels as though the heavens themselves might collapse. The 9 suns at the edge of the sky finally can't withstand it any longer. The solar sun at the center unleashes a beam 1,000 times thicker than before, streaking toward the Ashwood clan. The 8 suns beside it don't link together this time. Instead, each one fires its own individual beam, streaking down toward the Ashwood clan. Every single beam is 100 times thicker than the one Aurora absorbed. With a flash, I rise into the air. All 9 beams strike my body at once, golden light swallowing me whole. Within that golden light lies the ultimate concentration of solar fire, instantly scattering the 10,000 demon gods above. But it doesn't matter. The 10,000 demon gods have already fulfilled their purpose, successfully drawing down the sun's power. Under normal circumstances, demon gods can't absorb the sun's power themselves. Their main purpose here is simply to draw that power down from the heavens and channel it into me, as a blessing. The combined light of all 9 suns is blindingly intense. Every member of the Ashwood clan shields their eyes with both hands. A few who react a moment too slowly, catching just a single glimpse of where the beams converge, find blood welling up around their eyes. Only those with truly formidable power can shield their vision with spiritual energy. Staring up at the sky, Gareth's jaw very nearly hits the ground. His mouth hangs open wide enough to fit a whole person inside. Holy hell! At the sight before him, the man who always carries himself with such refined composure lets out a genuine curse. 10,000 demon gods summoning the sun's power just for Ethan. This is beyond terrifying. What he just witnessed was utterly staggering. 10,000 demon god projections, each thousands of feet tall, working the same technique in perfect unison, drawing the suns down from the very edge of the sky. Under that terrifying pull, the heavens themselves very nearly came crashing down. If this is how one summons solar energy, it could probably pull down the power of the entire everlasting realm at once. How is anyone else supposed to compete? Ethan must have the protection of countless fiends. Gareth can't fathom how those fiends even appeared, so that's the only explanation he can land on. It's the only thing that makes any sense to him. Elder Aeon's whole body trembles, his white hair whipping wildly behind him. The 9 suns convergence blessing comes in several tiers, and the difference between them is night and day. What Aurora received earlier is called the solar blessing. The central solar sun leads, with the other 8 in a supporting role, together channeling their solar fire to bestow the blessing. Even this level of blessing is already staggeringly powerful, requiring both a formidable technique and an equally formidable constitution just to absorb it. Across all of eternity, they say, the 9 suns convergence itself has occurred only 5 times, and that count includes this very moment. Across countless ages, only 5 people have ever received the solar blessing. You can imagine just how rare that truly is. As for the ninefold solar blessing, that's all 9 suns unleashing their solar fire at once, bestowing the blessing together, 1,000 times more powerful than the solar blessing alone. Across all of eternity, the ninefold solar blessing has only ever existed in legend. No one has ever been recorded receiving it. And now, I've done exactly that. This terrifying primordial seraphine body, with 10,000 fiends summoning the sun's power together, has finally brought the ninefold solar blessing into being. Elder Aeon had only ever come across it in an ancient text, scattered fragments at best, and never in his wildest dreams did he imagine he'd witness the ninefold solar blessing in his own lifetime. I honestly wonder, Gareth thinks to himself, if the ancestral sovereign was born into the wrong body, ended up male by mistake. If this baby boy really were the ancestral sovereign, everything would suddenly make sense. No matter how overwhelming her power turned out to be, they'd all be ready to accept it, ready to believe it without a second thought. But the ancestral sovereign isn't the baby boy. She's the baby girl. 100,000 years of preparation, and she still can't measure up to a newborn baby boy. Not by a small margin either. This alone might just be enough to make the ancestral sovereign furious. And sure enough, high above, the baby girl absorbing the sun's power suddenly loses control of her own body, plummeting out of the sky. As she falls, a mouthful of dark red blood sprays from the corner of her mouth. Gareth bolts into the air at once, catching the baby girl securely in his arms. Ancestral sovereign, are you all right? In his panic, the words ancestral sovereign slip out of him without thinking. Thankfully, they're high enough up, and his voice isn't loud enough for any of the clan members below to hear. The moment Aurora hears those words, her tiny face flushes dark, then pale, over and over. Right now, the title, Ancestral Sovereign, feels like nothing but an insult to her. Better not to hear it at all. The more it's said, the angrier she gets. This sovereign, after 100 lifetimes and 100,000 years of preparation, can't even outdo a baby boy? What a complete waste of it all. At the sight of the ninefold solar blessing, an occurrence unheard of across all of eternity, her spirit falters, nearly spiraling out of control entirely. Barely managing to hold herself together, she finishes absorbing the sun's power, though not without suffering serious injury in the process. With a wet cough, rage boiling over inside her, another mouthful of blood sprays out. The Empress's eyes roll back, and she faints from pure fury. Gareth lets out a helpless sigh, shaking his head slightly. Talk about bad timing, he mutters. If Aurora had been born a little later, she wouldn't have run into this little freak of nature. Though if she'd been born a few years later still, she'd stand even less of a chance against him. Then again, my son really is something else. He's got the bearing of a true sovereign, no doubt about it. High above, a searing sphere of light envelops me completely. The sun's power seeps into my skin through 36,000 pores, flooding deep into my body. Every cell in my body, scorched by the solar fire, burns white hot. An ordinary person subjected to this much solar fire would ignite into raging flames instantly, reduced to nothing but ash. Even my sister, with her primordial earth core at minor completion, couldn't fully absorb solar fire this overwhelming. But my primordial seraphine body has reached great completion. My physical body is terrifyingly resilient, and absorbing this much solar fire is no problem at all. The solar fire keeps seeping deeper into my body, like being trapped inside a roaring furnace, growing hotter by the second. Even with a seraphine body, the process of absorption is agonizing beyond belief. But who am I, after all? My willpower is terrifyingly unbreakable. If I could sweep the underworld for 1,000 straight years without complaint, how many ordinary souls could ever claim the same? No matter how much pain racks my body, I grit my teeth and don't let out so much as a whimper. More and more solar fire pours in, tempering my body all over again, pushing it toward an entirely new, terrifying level. My body glows with a fierce crimson light, like an iron rod heated white-hot in a forge. Every cell in my body, every organ inside me, is tempered to its absolute limit. Nearly a full hour passes before the sphere of light wrapped around my body finally begins to fade. At the sight of my left dantian, a small golden flame flickers into being. The instant I feel that flame's aura, my heart leaps with pure joy. This is the ninefold solar flame. To command the power of an immortal flame at only a month old, that's absurdly powerful. Aurora's pursuit of the solar blessing is, in large part, driven by the desire for a solar ember. But that's only a spark. It still needs to be carefully nurtured over time, drawing in flame power little by little, before it can finally mature into a true immortal flame. But receiving the ninefold solar blessing doesn't just powerfully strengthen the divine body, it grants a fully formed immortal flame outright. The ninefold solar flame, an immortal flame condensed from the fusion of all 9 suns, is 100 times more powerful than the standard solar flame. An immortal flame can incinerate anything in existence. It's bound to become one of my most powerful trump cards. Anyone foolish enough to cross me, one toss of this flame, and the problem's solved for good. This month blessing ceremony, my greatest gain by far, is the ninefold solar flame. Right behind it, my divine body has been tempered by the solar fire, reaching a level of strength that's almost unbelievable, an advantage that will quietly shape my cultivation for years to come. as the 9 suns convergence rises to its peak. The 8 lesser suns fade away not long after. Once I fully absorb the sun's power, I descend back down onto the ceremonial platform. Ashwood clan members throw their arms into the air, chanting in unison, "Divine Sun! Divine Sun! Divine Sun!" Once again, they've witnessed the Divine Sun's overwhelming power firsthand, and now they're certain. Before long, the Divine Sun is destined to become the strongest being in all creation, leading the Ashwood clan into a whole new golden age. 3 years later, in a spacious courtyard, flower beds burst with 100 varieties of blooms, a few rainbow-hued butterflies fluttering among them. Beside a bamboo pavilion, 2 children stand together. The little boy has large, striking eyes and a handsome face. There's no doubt he'll grow into a strikingly elegant young man. Do you think it's pretty? The little girl has fair, pale skin and a plump, round little face. Thoroughly adorable. The boy holds out his hand, a gray butterfly settling gently onto his palm. "Look, sis, see the pattern on this butterfly's wings? It looks kind of like woven flax thread. I gave it a nice name, Flaxwing." I raise the butterfly toward my sister. Aurora shoves the boy's hand away. "Boring." Startled by the sudden movement, the butterfly takes off at once. I'm left utterly speechless. Aren't little girls supposed to like things like butterflies and flowers? Why does my sister have to be so different? At this young an age, she's already into knives and swords and things like that. Who's ever going to be brave enough to marry her? 3 years pass by. 3 years pass by. Both children have grown quite a bit taller, able to run and jump with ease now, even scaling roofs and tearing up tiles for fun. Formal cultivation training is right around the corner. I can't wait to get started, eager to find out just how fast someone with a primordial seraphined body can actually cultivate. Gareth's footsteps thud steadily across the courtyard as he walks over to the 2 children. I tilt my head back, looking up at this broad-shouldered, middle-aged man. Gareth crouches down to their level. "Not cultivation just yet, kids. I'm taking you somewhere first." "Dad, where are we going? Didn't we agree we'd start cultivating today?" "Cultivation can wait a moment. There's something more important than that right now." He gently ruffles the boy's hair. Both children have been talking for a while now, and both are remarkably sharp for their age. The ancestral sovereign, that made sense. After all, she'd lived 100,000 years. But my own brilliance genuinely caught them off guard, so they simply chalked up his sharp mind to the primordial seraphine body itself. With a divine body like that, after all, a little extra intelligence only seemed natural. The Ashwood estate rivals the size of an entire city, sprawling across a truly vast expanse of land. In the backgrounds lies a training field spanning 1,000 acres, beside which stands a stone tablet towering 100 feet high. At the very top of the tablet, large characters are carved, the primordial body ranking. With one child cradled in each arm, Gareth walks up to the tablet. "Now, you can both reach out and touch this tablet and see if you can earn a place on the primordial ranking." Across the world of cultivation, there exists a legendary ranking, known as the primordial body ranking. This ranking measures a range of qualities, divine bodies, raw divine strength, and more. Anyone who earns a spot on the list receives a single, heaven-defying opportunity, one that, if seized correctly, can launch them straight to the top. To even attempt the ranking comes with one additional requirement. A candidate must first reach a certain age. There are actually several different primordial rankings. The one before them is specifically the ranking for divine bodies. With divine bodies like Aurora's and mine, climbing this ranking should have been effortless. The only obstacle before now was our age. I'd noticed the tablet from a distance right away, and my interest was piqued at once. With my primordial seraphine body, first place on the divine body ranking is a lock. The divine body ranking is calculated by weighing every relevant quality together. Take Aurora, for instance. She carries the primordial earth core and the sovereign earthbone. When the tablet runs its evaluation, it factors both treasures together, assessing overall strength as a whole. The more trump cards a person holds, the easier it is to secure a place on the primordial ranking. I crane my neck upward, reading the fine print at the base of the tablet. Rank 1 on the divine body ranking, Fenrir Emberleaf, the desolate sacred body supreme. Rank 2, Korin Voss, the sacred body Dao Embryo. Rank 3, Raylan Korvan, the sovereign swordbone. Rank 4. The list only records the strongest 100 individuals. Whenever a new name climbs onto the divine body ranking, whoever previously held the 100th spot is automatically bumped off. Every ranked individual holds their spot for a maximum of 10,000 years. After that, they're removed automatically. Seeing the name Fenrir Emberleaf stirs a flicker of recognition in me. I'd crossed paths with him in my past life too. The primordial body ranking isn't unique to the Ashwood clan. Tablets like this exist all across the realms. It records more than just cultivators from the everlasting realm. It covers every practitioner across the entire cultivation world. Trillions upon trillions compete for those 100 spots. To claim the very top spot is to be crowned the strongest among all those trillions. And earning a place on the ranking at all grants access to the primordial sanctum. The primordial sanctum is quite the place, filled with extraordinary opportunities. Back when I was checking in the Underworld, I earned quite a few ancient texts, some containing information about the primordial sanctum. Legend has it this was once home to the gods of a bygone age. who left behind countless divine treasures. With the stroke of good fortune, one lucky encounter there would be enough to conquer the three realms outright. The three realms refers collectively to the cultivation world, the celestial realm, and the demon realm, not three isolated worlds standing alone. The cultivation world alone contains countless minor realms, 3,000 of them in fact, all grouped together under that one name. I glanced toward the base of the primordial body tablet, a hint of confusion crossing my mind. This tablet has existed for something measured in the tens of millions of years, so why hasn't it accumulated any fortune? Ever since I gained the system, I've been able to sense a special kind of energy called fortune, and the stronger that fortune, the better the rewards from checking in. Under normal circumstances, the longer an object like this tablet has existed, the richer its accumulated fortune should be. But this particular tablet hasn't gathered any at all. Or, put another way, whatever fortune the tablet has accumulated isn't stored here. It must be held within the primordial sanctum itself. Given how ancient the primordial sanctum truly is, it's bound to be a goldmine for checking in. I start walking toward the tablet, ready to be the first to test my divine body. Aurora panics at the sight, grabbing hold of me at once, refusing to let me go any further. I'm the older sister. I get to go first. What difference does the order make? You're going to lose either way, destined for second place no matter what. I raise an eyebrow. This is a fact beyond dispute. My primordial seraphine body outclasses both of Aurora's treasures by an enormous margin, not even in the same league. Aurora grits her teeth in frustration. I want to be the first one to sit at the top spot. When a cultivator earns a place on the primordial body ranking, they receive a reward called the primordial font, its value determined entirely by their rank at the moment they first claim it. First place's reward far outstrips seconds. If I go first, I'll lock in the top spot for certain. No matter how hard she pushes, she can't outmatch me, leaving her destined for second place. But if Aurora goes first instead, with the primordial earth core backing her, she'd claim first place easily, sitting on that throne, even if only briefly, and walking away with the first place primordial font. When I test afterward, I'll take the top spot myself anyway, claiming my own first place font in turn. That way we both walk away with the maximum possible gain. And besides, what Aurora's really after is the fortune waiting inside the primordial sanctum, and only the top rank grants safe entry there, which is exactly why she needs to test before I do. No way, I'm the older brother. I go first. I turn and stride straight toward the tablet. Aurora yanks hard at the boy's arm, only to find his strength is simply overwhelming. 9 oxen combined probably couldn't match a single one of my fingers. A dragged furrow trails across the ground behind her. Immortal deer leg, I have one. I'll give you one, if you let me go first. With no other option left, she's forced to bribe her annoying little brother just to get me to stop. The moment I hear immortal deer leg, I do in fact stop in my tracks. Immortal deer are extraordinarily rare in the everlasting realm, just as scarce as phoenixes or dragons. Their meat is famously tender and succulent, unmatched in flavor. At my 3rd birthday feast, I was lucky enough to try a piece of immortal deer leg, and I've been hooked on that taste ever since. Now, hearing my sister actually has one, my mouth is practically watering. Really? Of course! Aurora reaches into the storage pouch at her waist, and a fresh deer leg 30 feet long drops to the ground. I stare at that deer leg, my eyes lighting up. Utterly tempted by the sight of it, my resolve crumbles instantly. Where'd you even get an immortal deer leg? And one this huge, no less? Immortal deer are rare enough on their own. A single leg 30 feet long means the deer itself had cultivated for thousands of years. A true elder beast. An immortal deer of this caliber is nearly impossible to hunt down. Its flesh carries a thick, potent spiritual energy. Eating it nourishes the body deeply, and offers real benefits for cultivation as well. Even a single bite of immortal deer meat, given to an ordinary mortal, could extend their life by several years. And with sustained consumption over time, it could even reshape their very constitution, opening the door to cultivation itself. It was Dad who gave it to me, of course. Aurora glances back at the middle-aged man behind them. I give a small nod. For the sake of that deer leg, I'll let you go first. Testing first or testing second, it makes no real difference to me either way. I'm still claiming the top spot afterward. Might as well let my sister enjoy a taste of first place for a while. Deal. I run a small hand over the deer leg and tuck it away into my storage ring. This storage ring was a gift from Gareth. Its interior space is enormous. Even a 100-foot mountain could fit inside without issue. A grand family like the Ashwoods can certainly afford such extravagance. Aurora lets out a sigh of relief. Over these past 3 years, she's learned just how much I eat. Every single meal, in enormous quantities, and the moment good food is in sight, there's simply no pulling me away from it. The immortal deer leg may be precious, but trading it for first place on the primordial body ranking is more than worth the cost. Even sitting at the top only briefly is enough to claim the full first place reward, with no downside once that's locked in. Aurora walks toward the primordial tablet, while I wander over beside Gareth, tilting my head back with a slightly sulky look. Dad, I want some immortal deer meat too. I genuinely hadn't expected that the Ashwood clan could even procure immortal deer meat. If it was shipped in from the desolate heaven realm, the cost would have been staggering, far outweighing the meat's actual worth. Ethan. The moment Gareth hears the question, his head starts to spin. The truth is he never gave that immortal deer leg to Aurora at all. It came from Aurora's own primordial cosmos tower. That tower is extraordinarily powerful, capable of fusing directly with a soul. It stays with her through hundreds of reincarnations without ever being lost, and whatever she collects only accumulates further, lifetime after lifetime. Whatever treasure Aurora pulls out, she always claims publicly that it came from the Ashwood clan itself, just to avoid raising suspicion. But that leaves Gareth in an awkward spot. Ethan, I'll definitely get you some fresh deer meat too. Ethan, outwardly I have to seem to favor Aurora, but I'll make it up to you with plenty of good things behind the scenes, alright? How is he even supposed to explain any of this to me? He can hardly say, your sister is the reincarnated ancestral sovereign, and every single asset the Ashwood clan owns technically belongs to her. Over these past 3 years, he's quietly pulled no shortage of nourishing treasures from the ancestral sovereign's private vault, just for me to use. I nod. Okay. The primordial tablet sits right beside the training grounds, where many young clan members are already deep in cultivation. Seeing the clan leader arrive with both the divine son and divine daughter, they immediately guess what's about to happen, and swarm over, eager to watch. 3 rings deep, then 3 more, packed so tightly not a soul could slip through. Oh my! The divine son and divine daughter are testing their divine bodies. I can't wait to see them climb the ranking. Right? There's really no need to guess the outcome. The divine son's taking first place for sure. Finally, someone from our Ashwood clan is going to top the primordial ranking. I wonder just what kind of primordial font the two of them will end up with. Right. Making it onto the ranking is brutally hard. You're competing against trillions upon trillions of people. Even with the Ashwood clan being an ancient bloodline, with 100,000 years of history behind it, only a handful of our own have ever made it onto that ranking. 100,000 years might sound like a long time, but against the tens of millions of years the ranking has existed, it's really just a blink. Aurora steps up to the tablet, a soft glow lighting up around her hand, which she presses against the base of the stone. The tablet senses her presence at once, vibrating with a deep, resonant hum. Wave after wave of terrifying energy pours off the stone, surging up into the sky. A mysterious vision takes shape in the heavens above. Within it, endless primordial violet radiance stretches without limit, cradling within it a body radiating a terrifying, palpable presence. Beside that body, floats a bone gleaming with brilliant golden light, inscribed with cryptic, unreadable script. Strange symbols burn directly into its surface. A single glance is enough for any ordinary person to feel the crushing weight of world-ending power radiating from it. The Ashwood clan members all crane their necks upward, staring at the vision with open horror. Heavens! A divine body nurtured within primordial violet radiance itself. Just how terrifying can that be? My God! Why does that bone radiate power capable of ending the world? It's really that powerful. The primordial tablet lays bare both of Aurora's divine treasures for all to see. A pulse of energy radiates from the tablet, sinking directly into Aurora's mind. And in her thoughts, a terrifying voice rings out, carrying an oppressive, boundless authority, unmatched across all eternity. You have claimed the summit of the primordial body ranking. Your name shall now be carved atop this stone. Wait. Aurora speaks back to the voice within her mind. I want to keep my name hidden. Use Kyle instead. The name Aurora Ashwood had once carried an enormous weight. 100,000 years ago. Throughout the entire desolate heaven realm, just the mention of it was said to frighten even demons half to death. If her name appeared on the primordial tablet now, matching that same name from 100,000 years ago, it would immediately draw the attention of countless powers, ancient monsters who have lived for hundreds of thousands of years, who would grow suspicious, at once, and could well come looking to cause her trouble. Right now, her strength is far too weak, with no real means to protect herself. If one of those ancient monsters ever set its sights on her, there would be no surviving it. So keeping her name hidden is simply the wiser choice. One day, once her power is enough to defy heaven and earth alike, she'll reveal the truth then, and prove herself for good. She's already endured 100,000 years. A little more waiting hardly matters now. As you wish. The tablet rumbles and shudders. A golden name slowly materializes at the very top of the ranking. Rank 1 on the body ranking Kale, bearer of the primordial earth core and the sovereign earthbone. The former first and second place holders both drop down a rank. Rank 2 on the body ranking, Fenrir Emberleaf, the desolate sacred body supreme. Rank 3, Corin Voss, the sacred body, Tao Embryo. A sphere of crimson light drops down from the sky, landing squarely atop Aurora's head before sinking into her mind. The sphere carrying the primordial font hidden within it, which only she alone can access. Across the 3 realms, 100,000 primordial body tablets stand, scattered across every major power and territory. And at that very moment, every one of those 100,000 tablets awakens at once. In a rapid cascade, terrifying surges of energy erupt skyward, conjuring the same mysterious vision across every sky. Endless primordial violet radiance fills the vision, cradling the primordial earth core within it, with the sovereign earthbone gleaming beside it. The moment this vision appears, the three realms themselves shudder in response. Across the 3,000 minor realms, countless ancient clans and powerful sects, any power that possesses one of these tablets, is able to witness the vision firsthand, and every one of them is left utterly stunned. My God, could that really be the legendary primordial earth core? This is absolutely terrifying. That bone's mysterious markings, they remind me of something. Whatever it is, it's on a whole different level than the sovereign earth bone. Members of House Emberleaf can no longer hold on to the top spot, it seems, no matter what. The primordial earth core and the sovereign earth bone, both priceless treasures held by one single person, this person is destined for a heaven-defying rise. Either treasure alone is powerful beyond measure. To have both fused into one body is proof enough this person's strength stands unmatched by anything in existence. Every one of these ancient clans burns with envy. If a prodigy like this were ever born into their own bloodline, their ancestors would practically be dancing in their graves. Deep within the desolate heaven realm, a vast world known as one of the true celestial realms, stand 10,000 primordial body tablets, scattered throughout its expanse. House Emberleaf is one of its ancient clans, with a history stretching back an extraordinarily long time. A full 1,000,000 years. The Divine Body Ranking's former number 1, Fenrir Emberleaf, currently serves as the clan's leader, known also by the title of the Ember Emperor. Deep within House Emberleaf's forbidden grounds, a man with long, loose hair opens his eyes. Within his gaze a terrifying light burns. Who dares steal this emperor's place? The primordial earth core and the sovereign earthbone. Interesting. The primordial earth core and the sovereign earthbone are treasures even he can't help but covet, a hunger for them stirring inside him at once. If he could somehow rip that sovereign earthbone free and claim it for his own body, it would push his own strength up by leaps and bounds in an instant. Kael, who is this person? Someone, go find out at once which realm this name comes from. Among the ancient clans, names like this are exceptionally rare, leading him to suspect it might well be an assumed name.